Okay, so we have a bit of a break now because we're going to have a lunch at the Tahara plant. And guess what? I get to have lunch with Lexus technicians and Lexus specialists. So they're going to join me for lunch at the actual cafeteria where production workers and staff gets to eat. So we're not having lunch at a special VIP lunch spot. No, we're going to Tahara factory lunch spot. So it's such a cool thing to do. So follow me as we get to join all these people from Lexus to have lunch. And we get to, I'm not sure if I get to choose my own meal, but we'll figure it out soon. And I'm going to ask some tough questions about what the life is like working at Lexus, working at Tahara plant, because maybe over lunch they'll be a little bit more relaxed and so forth. So, and they have a really cool work clothing. That's production workers clothing for Lexus. It's really cool design. Almost looks like a kind of a sports or athletics clothing. There's a little display board here showing the plant manager's message, safety record, quality control improvements, Kaizen or improvement project winners, thank you, recognitions. Really good board here. It's a huge plant. You can see how big the plant is. This is just the Lexus side of the plant. This doesn't include the Land Cruiser and the 4Runner plant, which is a separate building altogether. Lots of music here in a plant. They tend to indicate all kinds of conditions using different music. Okay, I'm not quite sure how far the lunch spot is, but we will keep following our friends here and have a beautiful lunch. I'm looking forward to it. I'm getting hungry. Okay, so we just arrived at the entrance of the Tahara plant lunchroom, and these are all the different menus. We have fish, miso soup, some Japanese rice dishes. Also, this is called a katsudon, cutlet on rice, noodles, curry. This is, what is this? Asparagus, cheese, and dry curry. I can't decide. You know that? I'm not going to decide. I don't know what I'm going to eat. I have no idea. Maybe I will have the grilled chicken and green, or maybe katsudon. I think I'm going to have the katsudon with the gyoza. That sounds good to me. So let's go find out which food I'm going to pick with our... But he said to hurry up, otherwise we're going to lose our choice. There's only a limited number of things. If we don't hurry up, we're going to lose it. So let's keep on climbing up here. Again, this is the actual Tahara plant lunchroom. This is not a VIP lunchroom. I'm going there as a Lexus Tahara production worker, and I love it. And then he said there'll be lots of lineup already. So I'm going to follow this guy, and then not sure exactly what I'm doing yet. Oh, you know what? It's like a production system. I follow and pick my own food. So it depends on what I want. I skip the line I don't want to have. And then the food I want, I pick. It comes quickly. This is the gyoza plate with the sauce already ready to go. So I'm picking the katsudon, which is a deep fried cutlet over rice. And it's a popular dish because I gotta line up. So I'm a few minutes late. I could have picked a ramen noodle, which might have been faster, but so this is gyoza. You can kind of tell it's also efficient manufacturing method for gyoza because they're making in twos. And look how fast the food is coming through the system here. I mean, I can just imagine them doing a motion time study here to make sure that everything is done in the fastest way possible. I feel bad for my assistant who is holding the camera almost the entire day today. But we're just looking forward to eating very soon. So they're serving the noodles over here. Again, production style. There's a takt time probably. So every few seconds a new meal has to be served. And then you get to pick whatever you want, and you add up the cost, and then it gets charged to your employee's account number. So Harold, my friend here at Toyota, is gonna treat us for this lunch. And it's also very cheap. I think the price is really reasonable. It's not expensive because it's somewhat supported by Lexus. Also the shrimp cutlet dish on rice. It's 451 yen, which is about, I don't know, $3.50 US, something like that. $3 US is ridiculously cheap. I don't think it even covers the material cost, to be honest. So they're doing it as fast as they can, and after that, I think there's some additional things you can pick, like drinks and stuff, and then you go to the cashier and pay for everything. So I'm gonna continue to line up here, and this is so cool. This is really cool to be able to just line up with regular workers who are the heart of this plant. They're the most important people at Tahara are the people who are actually working here as the production workers, and I'm honored to be able to eat here, and I much prefer to have lunch this way than to go to some restaurant. I think I might be officially the first media person in the modern age anyway that actually is eating lunch in employee cafeteria. I don't think there has been any other media person that I know of, and so this is the first YouTuber / media experience eating lunch at the Tahara plant in the employee cafeteria. Okay, so I'm gonna get my cutlet soon. Okay, so I got my shrimp cutlet with some gyoza, and I'm on my way. Okay, so I'm gonna have my cold tea, and you can see partitions. So that I guess from the COVID days, they decided to put partitions so along here. All right, guys, so we just finished having lunch at the Tahara plant, and what an honor to be able to have an actual lunch with people that work here, not eating at some restaurant nearby. And these are all the people that work at the Lexus line. They are what they call the quality control production preparation team. So they make sure that everything is ready to go and that everything is meeting the specification and standard for quality control for Lexus. So very important job they have. And I had a privilege to just have a quick lunch here. I'm slow, I'm not finished eating yet, but they eat super fast because just like cars, they're efficient as well in terms of eating. But I just asked a couple people what's it like to work at Lexus, and I know it's not easy to explain given the circumstances, because they're really focused on quality control and not necessarily the production side. But I did pick one person who's volunteered to explain to me a little bit about what's it like to be at a Tahara plant. So let's see if I can figure that out with him. So one of the first things he mentioned is that his name is Yano-san, and he is again responsible for quality control or preparation of quality control work. And he said that when he actually sees cars that he's part of, the cars that were built in Tahara plant, and they're able to see that cars on the road, and they see the owners smiling or laughing or just being happy owning those models, they said they get the greatest joy from being able to see that, to have the actual driver or owner of the car being happy with the purchase of the vehicle. But also he emphasized that it's very much a team-oriented environment at the plant, and they work to help each other and work with each other, and that makes the job worthwhile and purposeful. So that's one of the things he mentioned. Let's see if I can get a little bit more from him or some of the other people as well. So Natsan, a leader in this group here, I've asked what is the meaning of working here, or what makes it worthwhile, and he said to be able to see once again the people who buy the Lexus model being happy with the purchases because they're happy with the quality and the way it's being manufactured, and be able to see the fruit of that work is what makes it most meaningful. I think that's truly what I get in terms of feeling from everyone that's involved here, because they take pride in the work they do. The main thing is, how do you differentiate the final product for Lexus versus Toyota? What makes it a little bit special in terms of quality control? And it's interesting, he said that it is more than just about defects or actual specification or tolerances. It's more about emotions and making sure that some of the nuances to do with the quality control or quality fit and finish are above and beyond. So maybe everything is functional, which is fine, everything works, which is fine, but it needs to go beyond that so that the ownership of the brand, Lexus as a brand, has a bit of a meaning. So he gave a number of examples, but one of them is when we were driving the Lexus LM, the luxury van, there's a line that goes from door all the way to the dash panel across the board, and that line has to be perfectly lined up. So if it's a little bit off, it's not a functional problem, it's not a defect, but it might not look right. So they want to make sure that not just in terms of practicality and not just in terms of functionality, but also the actual Lexus owners will say, this makes sense to me, or this feels right. So if it doesn't quite feel right, then they have to make adjustment and to tune things differently and calibrate, so that there is a sense of understanding the Lexus is above and beyond normal brands. So those are some subtle things that are hard to explain, but I think the Lexus Takumi members and those people who are really working to make perfection come true understand that those subtle differences is what makes the actual ownership of the Lexus models truly meaningful and a little bit different from others. And it's those minor little differences, and I think that translates to ownership perfection, maybe I can call it that way. So it's not just the functionality, but much more than that. So I want to thank the team over here, Nassan's team here, entire team is here, had lunch with me. They waited until I sat down with my food, and because I'm a slow eater compared to them, I'm still not quite finished eating yet, but they're still sitting here making sure that I'm supported and I feel welcome. So I'm going to just thank all of them one more time before we leave this wonderful cafeteria, because they're the one who's holding the key to Lexus quality and Lexus standard translate to a very meaningful thing for us, especially for those people who own Lexus like myself. And it's always just a little bit of a subtle difference, and those are the differences that you will only understand, I think, if you own a Lexus. So let's thank them, Harold, with everyone. And what a privilege to be here having lunch with them, and hopefully I'll be back again to do a little bit more filming and videos of the Tahara factory.